I know they're wrong. You know they're wrong. We know they're all wrong.
They're wrong.
A modern podcast where Chris and Mike talk about TV, movies, superheroes, and everything in between. It's time for Superhero Slate.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Superhero Slate, the show where we run down the latest superhero entertainment news.
We love TV, movies, and superheroes, so let's talk it all out.
My name is Chris Dillard.
And my name's Mike Royer.
And I didn't write an intro, so we're going to keep going anyway, though. Honestly, this week we have so much news, it's hard to keep track of everything.
I guess we can say it's nice to kind of be back to a normal flow of things. We recorded, I guess, a record-breaking amounts of minutes last weekend for us because we had 2 spoiler casts, a normal episode, a lot going on. So we're more fresh this week. We're not so microphone tired.
Yes, definitely. I honestly, I mean, a lot has happened since yesterday, I think, in the world of news. Because we got some Doctor Strange images coming our way that, you know, we talked about via text messages. Bunch of Wonder Woman images. April Fool's was kind of tricky, so, you know, we kind of had to sift through that. But, I mean, yeah, you're right. I'm glad to be back in the swing of things. I'm really excited about what's coming up with everything. But
I mean, you brought up April Fool's for a second. One thing, I think people have gone a little too over the edge when it comes to reacting to April Fool's online. Like, I remember, like, back in high school and college, you know, April Fool's and the internet was like a fun thing. You know, IGN always produces like something pretty fun for like April Fools. There's always like funny little jokes out there, like people post pranks and stuff online. But like people this year just like totally just were not having it. Like I woke up in the morning and I just saw a bunch of like posts of people saying like, oh, not going on the internet today. And it's just like, you know, it's April Fool's. You're not just going to easily fall for stuff. And there wasn't anything particularly that I fell for. So I think people just need to take it at heart. I think it's a fun day.
Yeah, I think it's the only day on the internet I think people actually double check their sources.
Yeah, which is, I wish every day people would do that.
So, I mean, it's like that. And honestly, you mentioned IGN and they did a Star Wars Netflix series video this year. And it actually wasn't really that good, like that quality produced. Like, I thought the Legend of Zelda one several years ago was much better.
Well, it was weird because I kind of noticed it was half and half. Like some shots like looked really, really good, but then the other shots looked like, you know, if you Googled lightsaber tutorial on YouTube, you know. So it was still cool. I'm just glad IGN like, you know, at least goes in on it.
They're consistent. Yeah.
Like they're not really fooling anybody anymore, but it's just kind of a fun time for them to do parody videos. But it's kind of funny. It's the only time I think I ever type in IGN.com in my browser anymore is like one day a year just to see what they're fooling people with.
Nice. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I mean, I guess moving away from April Fools, this isn't a joke. We did some manly things today.
Oh, we did
separately.
Do some manly things.
But tell me about your project, Mike. Yours sounds like you were actually getting like your elbows dirty and working hard.
Yeah, man, I got a little cut on my knuckle. I shed blood for my project today. Very small amount, but still technically. That's all you need when you start a project. We are trying to maximize our storage space in our apartment. So I went out and I bought some shelves today. I installed some shelves. I had to get like screws, drywall stuff. I had to charge my cordless drill. We organized stuff. We got the whole closet in under control. So I did some manly things there. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like I could take on the world.
Wow,
As I say this, I'm looking down at this temporary tattoo I put on my arm. We at the radio station we got some like free swag in the mail from the Webbies, and they sent us like these like web like net neutrality themed temporary tattoos. I have no idea who the market is for these, but I put one of them on my arm, so I felt super manly today with my temporary tattoo on my arm that has like a crest and it says net neutrality on it. Like it's like the nerdiest thing I probably did all weekend is this tattoo.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you're the audience for those tattoos if you're putting them on. Well, that's awesome. Well, congratulations.
What did you do that was manly? Because we were trying to nail down a recording time today, and we were both in the thick of it.
Yeah. So today, my fiance's sister got a soft top for her Jeep she bought last year.
Ooh, nice.
So she had a hard top, and she bought this brand new soft top. It's never been put on, never been assembled. So my dad is a big Jeep guy. He's had a bunch of Jeeps and older ones, so I knew how to do it. So I went over there and I followed the instructions. Yes, I did. I read them step by step and put together this soft top for this Jeep one step at a time, which was really, really awesome and fascinating. And I'm glad we got it done.
Yeah, some of my favorite memories back growing up in Indiana was my friend Adam had a Wrangler, and he had a soft top. And we would on the nice days in the summer in Indiana, you put the top down on the Jeep, you take the doors off, you hop in, you cruise around. I mean, those are good memories. They really make me want to own my own Jeep Wrangler, but I got no place to park more than one car, so maybe one day I'll be back in that scenario.
Well, cross my fingers for you, man. But yeah, that's what I did. And that, it's been about the whole day. That's enough to wear me out. That's a lot of physical labor for me. On the average.
We were manly enough to compensate for all the nerdy stuff we're going to talk about in the next hour.
Yes, and speaking of, let's start off with the contest winners. I'm not going to mention their names just because I had this talk with someone over the week, and they're like, yeah, you shouldn't mention names over the internet. So I'm going to contact you directly through the channel you contacted us through for your codes. So we have 6 winners. You'll know what they are. I'm just not going to type your name in case that comes back on us. So just letting you guys know, you'll hear from me within 24 to 48 hours, and you'll be receiving your code. So congratulations.
Nice.
Thanks everyone for getting involved. Really fun. I really love your stuff. So
yeah, we love giving away stuff. You're always coming across these codes.
Yeah, I don't know how I do it, man. It's just right place, right time, I guess. But are you ready for the news? I'm ready for the news today.
Let's jump into it.
It's warm. A tree fell over on my neighbor's house. I'm ready to just get this news out of the way and call it a day. That's another story. But Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. All right, we've had a spoiler cast. You guys know how we feel. How do we feel, Mike?
Not so good.
Not so good. We didn't approve. A lot of people don't approve. To the point, I read an article today about how someone said that Rotten Tomatoes is adjusting their scores to make the movie look bad. The guy who wrote the article went and did the research. He's like, no, they didn't. Like all these match up.
Rotten Tomato has no axe to grind. They don't make any money whether movies are represented as good or bad. Unlike Fandango, which I think Fandango actually bought Rotten Tomato recently. So they said that they were going to remain impartial, so I'm hoping they do. But they don't there's no profiting there, so I'm not really too worried about Rotten Tomato. And plus, you shouldn't be taking the reviews so much to heart anyway. So
yeah, exactly. So I mean, the point being, this movie is so divisive that people are going to very extreme lengths to either prove themselves right or wrong.
Yes, so, I would agree with that.
So I guess the fact of the matter here is that the ultimate cut, with the additional 30 minutes of footage, releases July 16th. So we don't have that long to see this R-rated supposed version that includes all this footage that we've kind of seen. They've they've released some deleted scenes already and talked about a lot of the stuff.
This is kind of going into damage control, and I think we're going to kind of talk about this maybe a little bit with Suicide Squad. A lot of people had a lot of questions, and they were fairly asking these questions of why things were happening in the movie. So Zack Snyder just started putting out these deleted scenes. I don't know if it was his decision or the studio's decision or what was going on, but yeah, they just basically went up on Warner Brothers YouTube page. There wasn't really kind of an official newsletter going out or anything. So I don't know. It's just kind of weird. They're doing what they can, and I don't know. Is July early? Does that seem like it's too soon for a release?
March to April, May, June, July. No, every movie standards now are 4 months, and we're going to talk about another movie that's coming out 4 months after release here in a minute. So I don't think that's early. I think that's standard fare now, because we live in a world where the possibility of watching a movie in your home the day it comes out in theaters it's on the horizon. So
yeah, I think it seems so quick is because this movie was kind of set up as a summer blockbuster, and is technically, I don't think it's really summer yet, but I would consider this kind of starting off the superhero season. But it's in the midst of summer blockbusters is when this comes out. That's probably why it seems so soon.
Yeah, we're not used to getting movie releases, home releases in the middle of summer, especially something so big. So, I mean, July 16th, we'll get maybe some more answers and maybe see if we're swayed to one way or the other.
I mean, we didn't like the movie, but I have to watch that rated R cut because I want to see if that really makes it better.
Yeah, totally. I agree. On that note, it's the 7th largest opening ever for a movie, so good job, Batman v Superman. Congratulations. However, it also suffered I believe it was like an 80% drop Friday to Friday on ticket sales, which is huge. Not even Fantastic Four suffered a drop that low.
Yeah, and I don't think that necessarily goes to speak with the reviews being out there. I think it just goes to show the quality of the movie. Like, I think word of mouth is probably more powerful than, like, reviews, because I think a lot of people don't open up the newspaper or go online, like the lion's share of people that go to movies. They're not checking the reviews ahead of time. I think they're basically just like, oh, my buddy saw it. He said it was bad. I'm probably not going to go see it. So I think that's probably what it's coming down to more than anything. So, I mean, this is that big of a drop-off. You can't ignore that. And that's because the quality of the movie is poor.
So I think, something that also I'd like to point out is my dad asked me about it last weekend on Easter Sunday when I talked to him, and he said he watched the Sunday morning news. I don't know if it was Good Morning America or whatever that's on Sunday morning, and he said the guy on there said it wasn't a good movie, and he's like, I don't think I'm going to see it because of that guy on the TV.
I think that is the number one dad show of the week, because I believe he was probably watching CBS Sunday Morning.
Probably,
yeah. And my dad is always talking about that. He's always watching that show too. So good on you out there for CBS Sunday Morning. You are definitely breaking through to that dad demographic.
Yeah, you're nailing it to a T. So yeah, and I mean, this is Batman v Superman. I don't want to get into like whether it was good or not because we've already talked about that. That's old news to us. We're moving forward, but if you guys are interested, listen to our spoiler cast. It's available, and our reactions, our spoiler-free reactions on last week's episode. However, there was a good spot in that movie, and I think it was Batman. Batman was a highlight of the film.
Yeah, everyone's agreeing on that.
So, on that regard, Warner Brothers media executives has said Ben Affleck has actually written a Batman movie.
Yeah,
a solo Batman film.
And I think that kind of rolls into the triage of the movie. Batman and Superman. They want to say as many good things as possible. They're like, we know Batman versus Superman. Batman was the best part. We're going to say Ben Affleck already wrote a movie. Like, we want to put all the good stuff out there that we can.
Now, does he have a script? I don't know. It could be a treatment or an outline. Any way to skew words one way or the other. I'm going to be cautious about this because Batman is not on the radar. It is not on a release schedule, so we don't know if we'll ever get one with Ben Affleck starring as Batman.
I mean, I'm sure Ben Affleck is a busy guy, especially when he was filming this movie. Like, how much time does he possibly have to sit down and write, 90-plus pages of a script? I don't know. So, I would think maybe more like closer to an outline.
Well, most of this movie was actually done filming, or Batman vs. Superman was done filming in 2014, and they spent a lot of time working on it. So he's had some time to think on it, I think. But the thing is, Ben Affleck has only signed on for the Justice League films and nothing else. So he has no obligation to do a Batman film unless he truly, truly wants to and feels it, and then maybe his paycheck's high enough.
Yeah, I think the paycheck is going to be really integral, especially since all of this backlash from this movie. He's going to be like, do I really want to keep associations with this? We'll have to see. I mean, Ben Affleck is a tried and true filmmaker, so if any of this is going to get in the way from stories that he really wants to tell, he might just back away.
Yeah, and who's knows? We may get something that could be great, and the ship could be righted before it's all said and done. And that's kind of what I hope, but you never know what'll happen. Well, in the meantime, we have another Lego Batman teaser / trailer within a week of the other one.
Yes, this is hilarious.
So this one introduces to Alfred for the first time, voiced by Ray Fiennes, and he is Alfred who talks about all the different versions of Batman he's ever done.
Yeah.
And it references every movie version of Batman, which is hilarious because this Batman, I guess, is in that continuity where all those other ones have happened before him. And I mean, honestly, I really like this Lego Batman stuff. It's really getting to me. I see a lot of good reaction on Facebook from different people, not even comic book people, just regular people. And I think Lego Batman is going to be one of the best animated films of 2017, if I may be bold enough to say that without knowing all the films that year.
Be bold, Chris. I really liked the shot in the trailer where we got to see the lineup of all of his villains, because it was a realization where it's just like, some of these villains you're probably never going to see cinematically, just because, you know, they just might not fit in very well. I do think Clayface could possibly make a good on-screen live-action appearance in some form, but he looks kind of cool in his Lego form, so I hope he's in the movie.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a good thing, and you'll notice that in our featured image Mike put together for us. It was just really awesome. So, Lego Batman movie, getting my approval early on. I'm really excited for it. So watch that teaser trailer and let us know what you think. Here's an interesting bit of news, and we can take this, either way, okay? So Suicide Squad is on the horizon, and it's the next DC cinematic film. We talked about it last week, where we're not worried about it, but it's getting reshoots to add more humor to the film.
Yeah, and we think that, well, at least I think that this might be the first sign of Warner Brothers trying to right the ship by basically touching on the next movie coming out.
So the report is that they're doing the reshoots to add more humor because all the jokes were actually in the trailers so far that we've seen.
And there's a plus and minus here for me. Okay, so first of all, I liked the jokes in the trailer, so that's good. So if they can add more of those type of jokes into the movie, I'll be okay with it because they were good. The bad part is, just like the Batman vs Superman trailers, we got all the good stuff in the trailers before the movie even came out. So was that about to happen with Suicide Squad? Did they put all the best stuff they had in the trailer? You know, is there anything to look forward to in the movie? I hope so. I'm really hoping for this movie to just be something special and unique. So reshoots, I think news of reshoots always makes everybody nervous. But I would be curious if there was like some sort of like spreadsheet out there that shows a list of movies that have had reshoots and the likelihood of them like not getting better.
So every movie has reshoots. I'm actually going to just go ahead and tell you that in the film world, every movie has scheduled reshoots because there could be pickups. They could, something could be out of focus. They're always scheduled in there. Every actor is required to sign a thing saying they do reshoots. So I know for a fact that reshoots aren't bad, but when they're saying that all the jokes are in the trailer, that's when I'm like, okay, what happened? Like, why? I mean, I get it. Like, yes, you want to go a darker universe, a more real universe. And Suicide Squad would have been okay to do that with, I think, to me.
Yeah, because they're all villains. The darkness kind of fits.
They're villains. The word suicide is in the title. Like, yeah. I mean, it's not. It doesn't give me happy emotions. But like at the same time, like that trailer is pretty good. Like, yeah. I really enjoy the trailer and the vibe. I mean, a lot of people compare it to Guardians of the Galaxy, which is fair enough, I guess. But I just. The movie where they're reintroducing the Joker after I guess 8 years, they've got to do something where everyone's gonna enjoy it and not have a divided camp down the middle.
But I mean, like the sad thing is we wanted Batman Superman to drop so we could have our minds at ease. Like we were telling everybody, like, and a lot of other people are still on this track of. We don't know if we can trust Warner Brothers yet. We've had Man of Steel and Batman Superman. Both have not been positive in our minds. So when Suicide Squad, we were excited for it, but now we have to be a little bit more guarded, and I think it just goes to show that there's just no one at the helm of this franchise. There's no one we can trust. If there's reshoots on like the next Ant-Man movie or something like that, I trust it, because they're heavily seasoned vets over there at Marvel Studios, and I trust Kevin Feige with these properties wholeheartedly. So I think I've said wholeheartedly like 3 times so far in this podcast. But so Suicide Squad, please be good so we don't have to worry about any more movies going forward.
Yes, I don't change my rating. I'm still cautiously optimistic, and I think I'm going to keep that going forward.
All right, that's good.
So, in that regard, the DC movie after that is Wonder Woman, which is currently filming. And we got our first images from the set of this. So, one of them I want to talk about features Amazonian warriors, which is really cool to see these Amazonian warriors on horseback. Very Wonder Woman-esque armor. They're all armored up. Bows, arrows, swords. Very, I guess, not Vikings, but, like... Maybe kind of medieval, but...
Yeah, a little, like, they look kind of like Valkyries.
Yeah.
They look pretty sweet. They got these like shiny armor plates on, kind of mixed in with like some leather. They got some awesome swords, some kind of Roman shields. It kind of looks like they look like badasses.
Romans, that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, they look like they can really take down some people. We got like hordes of horses here coming up against some like World War I soldiers. I think it's gonna be really crazy, really interesting. We have one photo here where it looks like Chris Pine and Wonder Woman are emerging from the water. I don't since Chris Pine he's like a fighter pilot, right? Do we have any sort of confirmation?
I don't know what he is.
Okay.
He's just in the World War I army.
Yeah, he's got like kind of maybe a fighter jacket on, so maybe his plane fell out of the sky, it fell in the water, who knows? Maybe they're emerging from like a scene in Atlantis. I doubt it, but I'm liking what I'm seeing because it just looks like really unique, looks really original. We have not seen Wonder Woman yet. We've seen plenty of instances of Batman and Superman in movies in the past, so this is something different, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I think it's got a different feel to it because of the World War I setting and Gal Gadot kind of really going for it. I think they're doing what they want here, and that's what matters. And I think it's gonna be a good movie, and I'm really looking forward to Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
and as more layers are peeled back, I get a little more excited for it.
Yeah.
So, but in that regard, we have some Aquaman news as well. A little bit. The director James Wan indicates that sea creatures and sea monsters will play big parts of the film.
That's good. I want big, scary, deep-sea monsters because that's always terrifying. Even the real-life monsters that live in the ocean scare me. We watched like the deep-sea creature episode of Planet Earth a couple weeks ago, like late at night when we were just trying to like doze off and like, oh, I'm scared now. All these like dangerous monsters in the ocean. Stay down there. Stay down there.
Well, I think a couple things are funny. Is Aquaman's always been made fun of. Like he's the brunt of a lot of jokes, and like oh go get him goldfish kind of deal. But like making sea creatures and sea monsters part of the film, things that you can imagine that don't know are down there, will really add to it. I think it'll sell Aquaman a little more so than the funny bright orange and green and little bitty fishes that he's used in the meantime. Do you think they'll have a Sharknado?
One can only hope.
I mean, I'm just trying to do some cross promotion here. I know in the comics he sent a Sharknado, but like it was like more ferocious than the movie one was. So
yeah, I'm sure it was.
Oh well, which kind of brings me into my next note. Aquaman ties into the Justice League a little more so with this new rumor than we thought it did. So the rumor is Atlantis is a person, not the city, is the main villain of Justice League, is the latest rumor. And the Darkseid / Apocalypse thing may be a longer term kind of deal, whereas this might be a way to bring all the Justice League characters together on a local level first before a cosmic event happens, kind of like the Avengers. Yeah,
I mean, it makes sense that Darkseid is going to be more drawn out. It kind of seems silly to just bring him in right away because he's kind of like the Thanos equivalent of the Marvel universe. So he's a big dude, big powers. Don't just blow him on their first Justice League movie. I could see that. As Atlantis being the main villain, it makes sense. It's logical sense that the sea dwellers might attack the surface. I don't know. It doesn't exactly make me excited. I feel like it seems too small scale to me almost. For a Justice League movie,
Yeah, I could be wrong. So maybe I read this report wrong. Whereas Atlantis is maybe a place instead of a character, but the idea of the sea people coming up and attacking Earth as a whole, maybe like raising sea levels or sending like waves and waves of sea creatures and sea monsters and sea people. Can't say seamen because that would be very, very inappropriate. But that might be a way to do it locally. I mean, I don't have any other idea how to keep it on Earth, what would already be there that they don't know about. But I guess, everything else would have to come from space in my book. But another popular theory would be Brainiac would be a great character to use in Justice League. And I agree. I think Brainiac would be the way to go. He's never had his comeuppance, but I guess you never know. There's an Aquaman movie based on this. I think The Rise of Atlantis or something like that. That people said it could be based on.
Well, is Aquaman post Justice League Part 1?
Yes.
Like so if we're getting Aquaman after the first Justice League movie, it kind of seems weird that like we're gonna get this whole introduction to like Atlantis and Aquaman in this Justice League movie. We're gonna get to know them, kind of understand where they are in relation to the planet, and them going back and forth. I mean, if there's an Aquaman movie right off of the trail of Justice League, like what newness can we get from Aquaman? Like honestly, like. I can see, like, multiple Batman movies. I can see multiple Superman movies. It's hard for me to picture, like, a trilogy of Aquaman movies, you know? Just because I feel like there's just not much there cinematically.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, again, we don't know who's pulling the strings, what they're thinking when they do this. To me, it would be more of Atlantis rises, Aquaman stands with Justice League, and then his movies maybe picking up the pieces, maybe a Game of Thrones style thing. Because I've heard Game of Thrones thrown around so much with that character simply because he was in it, and maybe how they go. But yeah. I don't know. I would rather see somebody else. But I don't know at this point. It could be anything, and I wouldn't really be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that the people living in Atlantis and including Aquaman aren't badasses because they look badass in what we've seen, but just the whole underwater world and underwater society kind of seems like a one movie type thing. It seems like a little gimmicky, like, oh, it's kind of like Asgardish but underwater. I don't know. I guess I'll try to reserve some judgment, but like. Aquaman's a shaky subject out there in the nerd community.
Yeah, or maybe it was an April Fool's joke and we just all fell for it. Who knows?
Yeah,
I don't
maybe.
know. Yeah, I don't know. They got us good. But rather than focus on that, let's switch gears to talk about a superhero movie we really enjoyed this year, Deadpool.
Yeah.
It is now the biggest grossing R-rated film worldwide.
Yeah, and it's coming up on the heels of Passion of the Christ and American Sniper domestically too.
It is already past American Sniper. It is number 2 domestically, but it has not made it to number 1 yet. And I'm honestly not sure if it's going to, because of this little bit of news here, in that the home release is May 10th.
Ooh, yeah, that's close. It might not have time.
Yeah, so that's about a month away. We got an image here of the thing. It's one of the first movies I've seen released in 4K as well, which you'll need a special 4K player to show it and a TV to view that.
Yeah, well, like all that 4K stuff, I think it's just touching down this year, and it's really expensive.
It's the first time I've seen a 4K, and I think the movies they're just $10 over regular price, maybe. But I mean, Deadpool has 15 million to catch up to Passion of the Christ. Not sure if it's gonna make it. Oh well. It had a good run, and I'm really looking forward to pick up this home release on May 10th, which is, February to March, April, May, only 3 months after it came out.
So what is your plan with your giant movie collection once everything goes like 4K? Are you going to fall for the temptation of just updating everything to 4K?
So I don't worry about updating. I have a 4K TV already, but no way to play it. 4K players are either expensive or non-existent on current devices. So I don't really worry about it too much because I don't want DVD quality. I can tell the difference between DVD and Blu-ray, but going between Blu-ray and 4K, I can't tell a difference at all. And I work in video. I look at this stuff every day, all day. So I'm not interested in 4K, but if they come out with 4K Blu-ray releases and they're standard pricing, I don't care to get it.
I get it. It makes sense. It seems weird just because I feel like this 4K hard disk physical release, I feel like this is the last like version of physical media, It's just like they're cramming all this data onto those discs, 4K releases. I feel like it's just a matter of time until the internet connection catches up with 4K. I mean, Netflix is already streaming 4K, so
yeah, it does. But you have to have they have minimum requirements for that. So, and it costs more if you don't believe that. So I don't know. I don't know if 4K is going to catch up anytime soon. I'm interested to see if the digital version that comes with these movies is in 4K or just the regular 1080. Because that's really where my interest is going to lie. And yours as well, because, I mean, I know you're a digital person, right?
Oh, yeah. Wholeheartedly.
Star Wars The Force Awakens is coming out this week.
That's the fifth time I've said wholeheartedly. I don't have it written on the wall anywhere. Apparently it's just my word of the day.
Apparently, it is.
I gotta knock it off. I'm gonna knock it off.
You cut it out. Cut it out. You no more.
Cut it out.
I won't. I don't even know when you say it, so I can't count on me. Sorry, but if the digital HD version is 4K as well, then I will be interested in these. If not, I'll probably just stick with my Blu-ray combo packs because I don't care otherwise. A price point will be a big factor for me. Again, paying $30 for a 4K version that I can't watch, I'm not interested in. But I'm not gonna buy DVDs of all these movies anymore. So that makes sense. Sense? I go on a little rant there, but I've been looking at my shelf. I'm out of shelf for space on my DVD shelf.
You gotta put in some new shelves, bro.
I gotta find some new shelves. I need to take some tips from you and figure out how to do this, and do it quick because I'm running out. But oh well. In that Fox universe, though, is another movie that was originally scheduled for this year, but is now not. Gambit.
Oh, right? Gambit. Do you have any good news for me?
It depends on what you consider good news. So the movie is officially delayed.
Okay.
With script rewrites from Reed Carolyn, who frequently works on Channing Tatum films. If you look up his stuff, he's got Magic Mike credits and I guess 21 Jump Street credits, which is fine. And the reason I'm gonna take this as a good note is because I feel they weren't ready for that movie. They were ready to cast Channing Tatum, but they were not ready to make a good movie. And they were just gonna do it just to do it because they could. And they're like, you know what? We don't have to put out 3 movies this year. Let's push it back while we work on it, tweak it a little bit, make it fine, and release a good movie next year. And that's my take on it.
Yeah, they got to do it because we have not been positive about this movie once. So I think better and later is better than sooner and worse. Yeah,
totally agree. So in the process, the director, Doug Liman, is working on, or is closing up on the deal to work on a movie called The Wall for Amazon, which is a smaller production film. So he'll have time to start late this year to work on Gambit and have it released for October next year. Not a problem there. But the report also says the supporting cast is to be recast. So the only person we knew other than Channing Tatum was Léa Seydoux, who was in the most recent James Bond movie. She will be recast going forward.
I would assume supporting cast that's out there, they probably just can't wait around for this movie to get going. They're like, we're not as big and popular as Channing Tatum. We need to take the roles that when they come that they know that they're going to happen. So that doesn't surprise me that maybe that stuff might shake up a little bit since things have been delayed.
Yeah, totally. And I'm still leaning towards next year for this movie. The October spot that Fox has kind of blanketed as a Marvel movie. But I mean, I could be wrong. It could be maybe the spring one of next year. But I'm feeling Deadpool or the next movie we're going to talk about, which is New Mutants.
New Mutants. Whoa, what's going on?
So here's the report, and this was not an April Fool's thing. This was beforehand, that Maisie Williams of Game of Thrones fame has been cast in the role of Wolfsbane. A character who is kind of like a werewolf.
Okay, that's cool.
Anya Taylor-Joy, she was from a movie called The Witch, is going to be playing Magic, who's actually the little sister of Colossus.
Oh, that's cool.
And Alexander Shipp, who plays Storm in the current X-Men movie coming out, Apocalypse, will also be in the front as well.
Awesome.
The other roles that have not been cast are Cannonball, Sunspot, and Mirage. With Professor Xavier, played by James McAvoy, to play a part in this movie, like a big part in this movie, and maybe on this team of New Mutants.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm kind of curious. I guess what time frame are they setting this in? You know, is this going to be like early '90s, late '80s? I guess we just kind of have to see how Apocalypse shakes things up. But I do like the idea of kind of mixing up the X-Men cast a little bit and creating this New Mutants team. Just because I feel like since we're basically losing Wolverine, which is essentially like the coolest mutant. I mean, there's a reason that he's always like the lead guy in every movie, whether or not, you know, people like it. I just think it's bad. Like, Wolverine's badass, so I want to see more badass characters. So this is a new way to bring new people in, and hell, a character that looks like a werewolf, that's badass. That's cool.
Yeah, especially with Maisie Williams in her Game of Thrones roles, really pulling a lot of weight lately. And I think, you know, everybody wants a bit of those comic book movie monies, right? Everyone wants to be in a comic book movie.
Man, that's where it's at.
And I think having new characters, but also using a couple anchoring spots, such as Professor X and Storm, is a good way to bring those in. And I think New Mutants would be great. a supplemental film to the X-Men movies, which we know who the X-Men are. Cyclops and Jean Grey, they're always going to be in there. Nightcrawler. So having New Mutants would be a way to show off maybe there's some other things that go on other than just these big, wide-scale, catastrophe level events that the X-Men take care of. Mm-hmm. And I'm a big fan of the New Mutants. I mean, we saw one of the costumes in Deadpool with what's her Negasonic Teenage Warhead. She wore a New Mutants costume, so we know they exist in this universe now. So that would be maybe a good start in that. I don't know. I like it. I like the idea. I think Fox is starting to build their cinematic universe a little bit, and I'm okay with that because they're being bold, but they're taking their time, and I think doing it well. Mm-hmm. What do you think? Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I think they're doing well. I mean, I'm kind of concentrating on this next bit of news that's coming up because it's related, but it's one place where I don't think they're doing well.
Well, all right, then we're going to drop in the next X-Men movies, X-Men Apocalypse. Woo! Got some news for that. It's coming out May 27th. Jennifer Lawrence said she'd love to do more X-Men films as Mystique.
No. Jennifer Lawrence. Okay, listen here, lady. I like you, okay? You have been good in some of the movies that I've seen. You're a phenomenal actress, but you just, from what I've been hearing and from what other people have been saying, you don't seem to give a shit about being Mystique, and it doesn't make sense for you to be the lead of these movies, and Fox is going to keep cramming you into the lead because you're so fucking famous. So, but, like, if you could somehow miraculously become a different character that makes more sense, I'd be okay with it, but, like, Mystique's supposed to be the bad guy. Let that happen already.
What if she did play Mystique as a bad guy? Would you let her do that then?
I mean, I guess. Is
this steaming your broccoli, Mike?
A little bit. I mean, like I said before, I want cool mutants, okay? We've had so much time with these older mutants in the past. Like, we've seen Mystique do cool things, depending on whoever has been playing her. Who played her in the other movies?
Rebecca Romaine.
Yeah, she might have been a Stamos back then, too.
She was married to John Stamos, I think, in the first one.
Either way, we have all this opportunity to jump on all these different mutants and different powers, and Mystique's power is cool and secretive in like an espionage type way, but it's just like, if you want to put a character on screen that like just fights and does really cool like flips and stuff, I don't know, give me a different character. I don't know. I'm just getting kind of tired of Mystique, honestly. She's been like, and I think she might be in like, she's been in all the X-Men movies, right? In every.
She was not in the Wolverine ones.
Yeah, except for the Wolverine one. So I mean, she's been out there. We've seen her, but I just don't think she's as cool. So I'm done with Mystique, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think a lot of those people kind of need phased out. I mean, I get it. Professor X and Magneto are big staples, but I mean, we don't need them for everything. Like, there are other things going on where we can do without them. And I think, First Class was a good example of that. They didn't rely so much on Xavier and Magneto, but the Hellfire Club. People with different powers and different abilities, and I think and their team in First Class, were kind of like the New Mutants, where they had a bunch of new powers we've never seen before, but they're kind of going back into their old school ways, like, really quickly. And I think that's something you pointed out there. That's really kind of what they're doing, and I don't know what to make of that.
Yeah, but I have a feeling maybe Jennifer Lawrence is going to get too expensive, so maybe they'll just be like, we could save a lot of money if we don't bring her back.
Well, she's out of Hunger Games movies, so I don't know what else she's going to do. She needs a franchise, because otherwise she can't really do a whole lot by herself, maybe.
Maybe they'll just give her like a Netflix original series. That's the new hotness.
I tell you what, I have to look at her face every day when I drive to work, so I'm tired of Jennifer Lawrence too.
Why do you have to look at her face every day?
She's from Kentucky, and on one of the buildings in Louisville, they put her face, like, Jennifer's Louisville, because
oh God, okay.
She's from there and comes into Louisville, and I'm like, son of a bitch.
The market has been oversaturated with Jennifer Lawrence. Take a break, come back. We still think you're cool, but just take a break. Go to Hawaii or something.
Yeah, Hawaii, wherever. Not Louisville. Okay, get on my Louisville. So yeah, X-Men Apocalypse, May 27th. We'll let you know. We're gonna do a spoiler cast on that. I'm really looking forward to it. So we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, got a bit of an image here. Mike just saw this right before we started recording. Captain America Civil War coming out May 5th. I have tickets for May 4th, so get your tickets, guys. Don't forget to get your tickets. Mike, you got your tickets?
Oh yeah, I got like the second purchase in the theater, and we're sitting right next to the people who purchased their first tickets. So hardcore fans, right in the middle of the theater.
Nice. Make sure you tell them about Superhero Slate. They'll want to know about us.
I'll slip them a sticker.
So a bunch of behind the scenes photos came this week from Civil War, and one of them featured Black Panther in front of a green screen, and I absolutely love this image.
Yeah, his costume looks so sick. And the cool thing is it's all physical. It's all real. You know, Robert Downey Jr. has an awesome costume, but it's basically all CG. I think maybe like the sides of the helmet are real. Like I think there's maybe 10. He's wearing like 10% of the armor at any given time, I think. If not, he's fully CG. But this is a full real practical suit. It looks sick. It looks awesome. And just like he's got that whole cat like silhouette to him. So like when he's kind of like pouncing down like he is in this image, it looks so fierce.
Yeah, and again, we've talked about early set photos showed it kind of like plastic, or like not plasticky, but like, you know, clothy and loose and stupid. And the more official images we get, the more sick this guy looks. Like,
yeah,
he's only getting better with time as we get closer to release.
Yeah, I can't wait to see him fight. It's gonna be awesome.
It really is. And before we go on to the next topic, because we only have this image, I want to mention an image I sent to Mike. TV spots are starting to hit, people. Be wary.
No.
We are a month away this week from it. So 4 weeks away. Avoid the TV if you want to watch. But there is an image of him dropping down on Captain America and like holding his shield, Captain America's shield, and slicing it with his claws in the latest TV spot. And that Captain America versus Black Panther, vibranium versus vibranium, like that's gonna be so sick in the movie, and I really can't wait to see how that goes down.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm starting to get excited because I realized like, oh, we're in April. Civil War still seemed like far away when we were in March because, you know, you have to count 2 months to get there basically. So now we're in April and I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, wow, we're only like 4 weeks away. And I'm starting to get that excited feeling again that like I got when I went to go see Deadpool. So, I'm so stoked. I can't wait to see this movie. It's going to be an amazing conclusion to the Captain America trilogy. And man, talk about a trilogy that's going to be.
Yeah, totally. Really, really excited. I'm excited to see how that ends and move on and all this stuff. I also sent a picture of all the Civil War pop vinyls to Mike this weekend.
Is that Space? Is that waiting for a Spider-Man pop?
No, that was a character that's... I guess I can say the names of the pops, right? Those aren't... I mean, since it's been out for 2 months, they're not spoilers at this point, correct?
Mm-hmm.
There's a pop... The Giant Man pop is a 6-inch pop, doesn't fit in that slot. That's why.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So it goes 134, whole 136, because Giant Man couldn't fit in the little slot.
Well, I mean, we got to be getting a Spider-Man pop, right?
I'm really hoping it's in the Marvel Collector's Core. That's pretty rare and hard to get. I mean, it's not hard to get, but like they don't release them in stores. Mm-hmm. So I'm really hoping that's what they're holding out for. So my Collector's Core membership will pay off. Cross my fingers. But yes, enough Civil War. Again, May 5th. I got tickets for May 4th. That's our next spoiler cast. We're gonna talk pretty hard about that because we need a good third movie in a trilogy that blows our minds, and I think that's gonna be the one that does it. Yeah. Let's talk about something a little strange. And by a little strange, I mean Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I think this is probably... I don't want to say necessarily biggest news. I don't think that's the right word, but I think this is the most exciting news drop this week.
Yes, I agree. So this week, they have been filming Doctor Strange in New York City on the streets, which is we've hardly seen anything to do with this movie on the streets. And we've got a plethora of images. There have been dozens of images, but we're going to talk about 4 big ones. The first is Benedict Cumberbatch and Chiwetel Ejiofor in their costumes as Doctor Strange and Baron Mordo, respectively. And god damn, is this image clear and good looking as they stand in the middle of the street.
Yeah. I mean, we were just talking about how awesome Black Panther looked. I mean, these costumes look sick. I mean, everything's taking... Like, everything looks like it's worn. Like, everything looks like it's been around for a while. I mean, it just seems like they're really living in that costume. It doesn't look like it just got thrown on them. So it just looks awesome. I mean, I'm just like, I can't not look at Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange and go like, holy crap, I can't believe we've gotten to this point with comic book movies where I get to see this.
Yes, nailed. I mean, Doctor Strange is one of my favorite characters, and they've really nailed him. I think Benedict is gonna knock it out of the park. And this movie's. I mean, a lot of people say this might be up for an Oscar. I'm not gonna go that far.
No, you can't say that.
I'm never gonna go that far. But as my friend on Comic UI, Brian Smith, pointed out, very Thor and Loki color scheme. On these.
I think this is really, really beautiful.
So, again, I do like the Thor and Loki color scheme, but again, we're looking at someone taking a picture rather than official stills, and how this looks on this person's camera snapped in real life may be different than how it looks in the final version after magic and post-production have been added.
I know what I just kind of realized? I haven't had any Benedict Cumberbatch in a long time. Like, it's been at least, 2 years, I think, since the last Sherlock came out?
He had a Christmas special.
Yeah, I don't think I haven't watched the Christmas special yet.
He did the Imitation Game.
Yeah, I didn't watch that just because I always say I'm going to watch these Oscar-nominated movies and I never get around to them. So just realize it's been a long time since I've really had some Batch in my life. So I'm ready to get some Batch.
And if you check on Pickled Comics, there is a great Benedict Cumberbatch comic on there if you guys are interested. Just to throw it in there.
Thanks for the shout out.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I wholeheartedly agree with that comic.
Thanks.
You're welcome. So in the meantime, let's give you some more Batch. On the next image, we get Benedict Cumberbatch in a cape running down the street.
Yeah, look at that cape. So sick.
He's got that cut on his face. He's bleeding. He's in a hurry to get somewhere. He's missed some sort of important meeting at the Starbucks down the road. However, will he get there? T-Mobile's behind him. Product placement. You know how these movies go.
He's late for a very important date.
That's right. I wasn't going to go there because I don't want to watch the looking through the glass Alice in Wonderland movie. But whatever. we'll let it happen. But that cape flowing behind him looks so cool and natural. I just really like that. And that brings me to our third image where he runs out of what I presume is a Sanctum Sanctorum without his cape on.
Yes, I have a theory. I have a Mike Royer Superhero Slate theory I want to lay down on you.
You heard it first at Superhero Slate. Mike, what's your theory?
My theory is that maybe he gets to put on his cape possibly with magic. So this is just my guess, but maybe instead of pulling his cape off of a coat rack right outside the door and swooping it on, maybe he does a little bit of magic and his cape just pops on. I think that's pretty cool.
So what purpose would the magic cape be? He runs out of the house without it on and wants to run down the street, so he adds more drag with his wind drag with his cape, or what's the point of the cape?
Because he wants to look cool. I mean, he's out in public. He's out on the streets of New York. He's got to show up fresh, or he's gonna get like Hayes. He's got to look cool. I mean, New York is a fashion capital of the world. I mean, come on, he's saving the world, but he can look good while he does it.
See, I'm gonna go the other way and say that the cape maybe is magical in and of itself, and maybe gives him some protection or abilities. I don't know. But I like your theory. Let's hope it comes true.
See if it holds true.
Yes, but here he is coming out of a big set of blue doors without his cape on. So look at that. Boom. Lastly, the images we just dropped today. Mads Mikkelsen is playing the villain. We don't know who he is. However, take a look at that face and those eyes. It looks almost like there's a close-up. I'll probably put this in there of his eyes where it looks like it's kind of digital, or it's burning out a little bit, kind of scaly. I don't know what's going on with his eyes, but this practical makeup is just fantastic.
Oh yeah, I mean, it looks like a demon is basically barely able to hold on to the body that it's maybe inhabiting in some sort of form. But yeah, that looks amazing. I mean, I thought first this more high quality image where you get to get closer, I thought that maybe that was CG or something, but then I realized no, these are on the street shots. And then when you kind of look at the other one where it's kind of further away, you realize that is just practical makeup. That probably took hours upon hours to do, and it looks amazing. It looks awesome.
Yeah, and we got all these images this weekend. A really great find. I mean, this blew up our text messages this weekend. I mean, I really like it. But I guess that brings us to an interesting note is, as of right now, this weekend, Doctor Strange is wrapped filming.
Ooh, yeah. So that means that in New York, those street shots were kind of the last bit that they had to do.
Yes, probably keeping the most revealing things till the very end, and as for good reason, as you can tell. But this movie comes out, I think, November 10th or so, in that range. First week of November this year, maybe November 3rd. I don't know. But
okay, maybe you're about to launch into this already, and maybe I'm just cutting you off short here. But I'm going to go ahead and take the credit for maybe the rumor or the speculation here. Possibly a trailer a week or two, plus or minus, before Civil War, maybe afterwards.
So my theory, and that's always had, if you look at the release date when the first Civil War trailer came out, and the same with Age of Ultron and Ant-Man, they always come out about 5 to 6 months beforehand for a teaser. That would put it on the weekend release of Civil War.
Yeah, so do they put it in front of the movie? I think that makes sense. Put it in front of the movie to get hype for the next Marvel movie. But when the trailer drops, I don't know. I'm always really bad at predicting what Marvel's gonna do. Usually we can predict the time frame, but then I'm always like second guessing myself in my head, like, oh, well, do they put the Doctor Strange trailer out before and take hype away from the Civil War movie, or does it add hype to a Civil War movie because it's all Marvel in general? I don't know, but soon, within like 5 weeks or a month, we could be seeing like the first footage.
Yeah. So I mean, they're in post-production now, so I think we're going to start seeing footage. I think we're going to get some official screenshots and release shots, and I honestly think that trailer's going to come out the week of. I don't think it'll take away, and I think maybe, I don't know, post-credit scenes for movies in Marvel are so very weird, because I always feel they're showing the movie 2 movies ahead. But we've not seen anything for Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Which is sad, but at the same time, if we get a trailer for Doctor Strange, and then the post-credit sequence is for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, we're winning double. We're winning double in 1 week.
Yeah, that's true. And sometimes the post-credit scenes don't hold any weight. You know, Iron Man 3, the post-credit scene was what, Hulk, or just Bruce Banner on talking therapy. So sometimes there's like no merit to them at all. You know, and Ant-Man, our post-credit scene was just talking about the Wasp, right?
The first one was showing the Wasp outfit, I think. It might have been
the second one, was the scene for Civil War, that's right.
Yeah.
So, and that was a direct scene from the movie, so I don't know. I think we can't always be 100% concrete what we're going to get in the post-credit scene, but I think that's good because that makes things fun. Because you never know. Because I don't know about you, but this always happens for me. It doesn't matter how good the Marvel movie is that I'm watching. It could be amazing and totally engaging. But right when we get to the third act, I start thinking about the post-credit scene is coming up soon. The next juicy tidbit is coming up soon. The secret, the news, the juiciness, it's coming soon. And I just kind of forget I'm watching a movie. So I love post-credit scenes, man. They're so much fun.
They are fun, and I think, you know, Doctor Strange getting a trailer and a post-credit scene would maybe add some knowledge about the character coming out, because he is the most obscure going forward that we know of.
True.
So I don't know. We'll know in 5 weeks, and I'm really excited to know that. I think we can narrow it down to 5 weeks. So cross fingers, guys. In that regards, I mentioned Guardians of the Galaxy 2 maybe being a post-credit scene. We got some news on it. The first image of Gamora landed. The actress Zoe Saldana releases from the set of herself a selfie winking at the camera, and her green hair. You can see her robotics under the skin kind of peeking up, and it looks like the Milano behind her, the ship.
Yeah, I think so. I think there was another shot that kind of dropped this week of Chris Pratt in the Milano, kind of in like a CG warehouse type deal. So the Milano is definitely going to become an iconic spaceship.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of use of it. So we get to see Gamora again, but I think that's the minuscule into the fact that Marvel is courting James Gunn for a third film already in Guardians of the Galaxy, even though they've not announced the third one yet.
Why? I mean, why not? James Gunn is awesome.
Right. The only thing is, how many Marvel directors have done 3 films?
That's true. We haven't had any, have we?
No, the first ones would be the Russo brothers once they get to Avengers, but they're going from Captain America to Avengers, which, again, if you look at it in terms of characters, is not much, but it's 2 different franchises to me.
Yeah, so I have 2 thoughts if you'd like to hear them.
Please, that's what we're here for. I'm here to listen to you.
So James Gunn, I love the idea of him kind of doing a Guardians trilogy and him kind of helming everything. Just because Guardians is a very unique addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, just because it's out in space, hasn't really connected necessarily with anything terrestrial yet. So it's kind of its own little thing. And, you know, he doesn't really have to worry about playing in the playground with anything right away. So I think the first movie worked out really well for him. So I think that works out specifically for connecting all of these movies together. But at the same time, you know, sometimes it's good for movie franchises to get a different kind of vision in. You know, I could almost see maybe James Gunn being like the executive producer for sure for a third movie. But hey, maybe get James Gunn in on a different Marvel movie. Maybe he can be the director. Maybe he can be the director of like Captain Marvel or something like that. You know, I like the idea of the cross-pollination, I guess is what I'm saying. You know, you have these really awesome, talented directors that can really, really put their hands into the Marvel universe and do awesome things. So maybe swap around, do a little swingers party. You know, Marvel Studios can like rent a nice house in the Hollywood Hills, bring all the directors up, they all put their keys in the thing, and then each writer picks up a different director. Okay, this is getting kind of ridiculous, but you know, that's what I'm saying.
Well, the only thing I say this is James Gunn has never done a sequel before, so having him do Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 will be telling of how he handles sequels and his characters going forward. So, you know, if he wants to do a third film, he's got time to do to take a break and do other stuff, and I think that's important for him because Marvel's essentially booked up until 2019.
Yeah, I mean he's a hot commodity now. When he decides to leave Marvel, he's not going to have an issue making whatever movie he wants to make.
Yeah, and if I would put him on any other project, I would put him on Inhumans.
Smart. I like that.
But that would be about as far as I go. But if he wants to do a third one, so be it. That's great. But I meant to say, all this pales into comparison is we got 3 brand new characters coming to Guardians of the Galaxy. And the first one is an actress, Elizabeth Debicki. She's playing a character called Aisha, who is actually codenamed for a character, Paragon. Paragon is created at the same time as the character Adam Warlock in the comic books. They're created by the same cultists, the same group of people. So if they have this Aisha / Paragon character, and she's true to the comic books, they could go a whole different route. I don't care. No one knows who Paragon is. But that might lead credence into that Adam Warlock could be in this film / could be Star-Lord's father. If we want to start drawing some very, very like sketchy lines.
Yeah, I mean he's always been really connected to these gems. So I mean if you're planning 3 phases, dozens of movies around these Infinity Gems, it kind of makes sense to bring in Adam Warlock at some point in time.
Yes, it does, and everyone wants Adam Warlock. That's a fact. Next is the actor Tommy Flanagan. He's from Sons of Anarchy, and he will be playing a character called Tulk. If you look up the character Tulk in Marvel work, he's like a crony of Ronan, like one of his like groupies or whatever. Well, we know Ronan's dead, so maybe he might be a Ravager, or maybe some friend of Ronan who's coming to get the Guardians. I don't know. That's really kind of up in the air. But Tommy Flanagan kind of looks like more like a Ravager kind of person than a Cronin or Ronan kind of guy. Yeah. Crony, as I will.
Rough and tumble. He seems.
Yes, and lastly, Chris Sullivan, an actor, is going to be a character called Tsarface. Tsar is in like the Russian, like, you know, government people, but Tsarface, I don't know who Tsarface is. I couldn't find him, so that one's kind of up in the air. But we got 3 new characters joining Guardians of the Galaxy, making it big, kind of fleshing out the characters of the universe. You know, like you said, he's playing in the sandbox and he's having a good time with it. So
yeah,
more power to him. Gonna switch gears. We're gonna back to Marvel's Netflix series, Iron Fist. We got a lot of news. You know, we know who's playing Iron Fist. Now we have the second casting, Jessica Henwick. She was in Star Wars: The Force Awakens and Game of Thrones. Has been cast as the character Colleen Wing. And Colleen Wing has an image that was released. It says self-defense and martial arts training, Sensei Colleen Wing. So we know there's gonna be some karate, some
hell yeah,
fighting, some martial arts, some Jackie Chan-isms all over the place, if you will. And also her description is that she's an invaluable ally to Iron Fist as he returns to his life in New York.
Oh, I like this. I want to see some karate action, so the more karate, the better.
You think they'll cast Jackie Chan at all in there, or Jet Li?
Man, that'd be awesome. I miss Jackie Chan.
Yeah, well, he's out having his Jackie Chan adventures. So, what can we do? But yeah, Marvel's Iron Fist shaping up to be something great. I expect more news on the horizon, especially this summer. I think they'll start production this summer. I don't think they're gonna wait. I think that'll be it. And lastly, a bit of a oddball bit of news here is Blade Runner 2. The only reason I include this in here is that, Harrison Ford, Star Wars, big name, is going to be in it. But the character Robin Wright, she's from House of Cards, Wonder Woman. We saw her last week in Wonder Woman Image. Joins the sequel. So I know you're a House of Cards person. I'm not.
Oh, it's good. It's good.
So much time in the day, man. Only so much time in the day.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and go over the first Blade Runner and see. I know there's just like a specific way you're supposed to watch it, because I guess there's like a director's cut, but some people say, oh no, you don't watch the director's cut first because it's better, but you got to watch the original cut first. I don't really know what's going on there, but yeah, I got to revisit Blade Runner because I know there's hype behind it, but it's not hitting me.
Yes, Blade Runner is one of those ones I didn't watch until like my end of college years, through a film class, and I enjoyed it much later, in the context of what it is and such. But yeah, other than that, that's the news for the week.
That is the news. It was a nice little chunk.
Yes, I mean, we had a lot of good stuff. Again, like I said, the Doctor Strange photos really capped our week off. Had me so hyped for that. I can't tell you again what that was. Enough to get the testosterone flowing to go do some manly stuff today.
Manly stuff.
Right. But I guess in the meantime, Mike, I know you're putting out a lot more comics on Pickled Comics than usual. Your output's kind of growing. I like to see that. Where else can people follow you, maybe including Pickled Comics, if they want to keep up with your artwork and your comics?
Well, if they want to see those drops, they can follow me at Mike Royer Design on Twitter and Instagram. And like Chris said, you can read my comics at pickledcomics.com. My next one, probably dropping it on Monday because I got this one out the door pretty quickly this weekend. It is a Batman vs. Superman themed comic, and I think it is hilarious. And I still think it's hilarious. Usually my meter for if I think the joke is good enough is if I can look back at it a couple days later and I still think it's funny. So, yeah, I like to put out the nerdy stuff, so look out for that one.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, but Chris, more importantly, if you get any more pop vinyls, I think you might have a problem. So if people want to follow your hoarding issues, and if you finally end up building that extra shelf, where can they follow you?
Well, you can follow me on Twitter at Valdan, Valdan. I do post pictures of my pops on there, and I don't think I have a problem. I think I have a solution, okay? You're cutting me there.
A final solution, huh?
Yeah, but in the meantime, you can also go to Comic UI, where I'll report news and fun stuff and facts, and maybe I'll do a list here or there. I don't know. I've been playing with the idea of a list in my head. People like lists, right?
Yeah, sure.
Sure, why not? Where else can they find us, Mike? I know they're listening to us right now, but if they want to hear more or see more of our stuff, where can they do that?
Whew. Well, as always, you can please visit our website at superheroslate.com. That is the best place to find the links to every place we have the show. Maybe you want to subscribe somewhere else. Maybe the way you're listening right now is getting a little stale and you want to mix it up a little bit. Because you can find us on iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Tumblr. You can subscribe to us directly to your email inbox. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're all over the place. We like to be where the ears are. If you're a fan of the show, please consider leaving us a review on iTunes to help us pop up in some fresh eyeballs. And if you're a super fan of the show, if you really like us, share the show with a friend. And that is my credence to all the listeners.
Well, there you go. I appreciate it. But yeah, in the meantime, I mean, I guess next week we don't have any other shows coming up until next week's news for once. I don't know what to do with my life this week, Mike. We don't have anything going on.
Oh man, well we got TV shows coming up. The Flash has been getting really good. The Arrow.
Flash is on a 2-week break again. We can't count on.
Oh, again? Damn it.
Yeah, that I found that out and I'm like, son of a bitch.
well anyway, Shield has been pretty decent so far coming back, but I'm going to go eat a burrito. I'm hungry.
All right, that sounds good. I think I'm going to go eat some stuff too and start my countdown till the summer movie kicks off. So I guess we'll catch you guys next week.
All right, bye everybody. Bye.
Thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe.
Let's see if my Google Drive won't be a big-ass bitch this time.